It is a political insanity to keep doing one thing and expect a different result. For long in Nigeria, we have been craving for good leadership. How many times we had elections? How many times we've been having this kind of seminar, this workshop, this seminar alone cannot give us that leadership. It requires action. It requires something different. It requires us to do what I call political lobotomy. This is where we have to stop doing things that are not working for us and start doing things that will work for us. I want to liken it to also a tree. If you have a tree, for you to grow or to promote new growth on a tree, you have to cut down some of the low branches and some of the dead branches for new growth to emerge. Cutting down the branches of the tree, it doesn't mean to kill the tree, but to promote the growth of the tree. For us to promote the growth of our politics, of our democracy, we have to cut down some of our political branches. We have to start doing something new and get rid of some of the things that we are very comfortable with. Because we cannot grow if what we do is to stick to our comfort zone. Because to improve is to change. There is no way we will improve ever without change. So we must change our leadership recruitment process. And this is urgent because it has to be now. I had to cut my stay short from Dubai and come here to attend this event. I was in Dubai yesterday and I saw amazing development. How great that we are living, how peaceful that we are living. They attract everyone around the world to come to Dubai. And I asked myself, how can Nigeria be this great? And the answer is here. The theme of this conference, the leadership recruitment process, that's the starting point. And they got the leadership recruitment process right in Dubai. I'm not saying we copy exactly what they do, because we are all different settings, different people, different countries. And I identified 4 processes, leadership recruitment process in Nigeria, which all of them must be changed. All of them. And it's not evolutionary change, it's revolutionary change. Nigerian politics and leadership cannot change without revolution, not the violent one. There's a process revolution. And that's what I mean here. And I would like to enumerate them as follows. Number 1 thing is the attractions or the motives. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالِ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. We have to redefine the intentions first. Number 2 is the process or pre-selection process. This is where I will talk about delegates and political parties. Number 3 is the leadership, or if you like, the politics. And then the highlight of my speech today is where I will talk about the voters, because we are the most important people in the democracy. So now let's start with the number 1, which is what? Motivation, the attraction. Why do we participate in politics? That is me and you as voters and the politicians that contest in various positions. And I will start by giving you a story of someone who said he wanted to contest an election because he really wanted to get married. And I asked myself, what is the connection of politics and you getting married? And he said he wants to contest an election so that he can get money and get married. Imagine. Because the easiest way to get money in Nigeria is to contest, is to be in a position of politics or authority. It's too bad. You can imagine, these are young people who we say the leaders of tomorrow. And he wants to get married, he's looking for anywhere to get money, and the first thing that came to his mind was to contest election. I said, we are doomed. And some of you from the northern part of this country, you've heard the story or heard of the late comedian called Ibro. Ibro, in a movie, he said he was facing poverty. He lacked money. He cannot pay for his rent. And he was just with his wife. And he was telling his wife, my madam, I think I will contest an election. Because this poverty is too much. To get rid of poverty is to contest an election. That's the intention. We have to change and redefine the intention first before we get any results. And the third story is that I went to Barnex in Abuja and I was gisting about politics. And someone said, Doctor, you see this term? It's for sale. It's for sale. Who wants to buy this? These are young people who think their vote has to be sold, must be sold. You have to pay them money to get their vote. You see the motivation of the contestants and the voters all centered around what? Money. We get it. Because I bought it. I paid for you. You voted for me. That's a trick. How can you expect anything from me again? And I took loans to contest an election to give you. The next thing I will do is to repay back my debt. And that is why, in one of my previous lectures, I said, there will never be good governance in Nigeria as long as people will become rich when they got elected. People who are poor, they don't have things. Once they're in a political position, soon they become super rich. Because the bad eggs will always come out and outcompete the good ones with money. Because the process is about the money. Because in Nigeria now, it is more lucrative to be in politics than to be in business. Someone with 1 billion naira, instead of thinking of to invest, the next thing they will be thinking is, I will contest for governor of my state. Because it pays him much more than being in a business. In the last election, I'm sure Professor Jega is here, might want to correct my figures, but tentatively I can say, I myself have contested for Federal House of Reps, Katsina. And people that contested and lost the election, they have spent in buying forms, nomination forms. Even now to buy a nomination form is more than 40 million naira. Can you imagine? Now you have to do pastors, you have to mobilize delegates, put together all this money. All the people that lost the election in 2019, their choices. And if both parties select the bad and the bad, we have to choose among the bads. Because we don't have powers. We are not delegates. You don't have voice where it matters. In my election, at the primary election, some of the delegates don't even know how to write my name. And they are the ones to choose for the people. What kind of choice would that be? If you tell them, I have a PhD, they don't know what is PhD. The only PhD they know is what? The money. We have to tell ourselves the truth. And that is why the elites, they hijack political parties and put the people that they will control, manipulate them. And these are people who are not mostly informed. Because information, knowledge gives you independence to be by yourself. But these people, because they are not competent, that is why they are put there. So that someone will use them for their own personal interests. All these big political parties belong to some group of people. And then we become slaves to them because they control the parties and the delegates. So for me, delegates must have a minimal requirement of at least, I don't want to be too academic, but let me bring it down. At least a degree. I wanted to say a PhD. A lot of people feel marginalized here. But should have a minimum of first degree. You must have a minimum of first degree. And you must have a job that is giving you a minimum of, how much? 300,000 naira in a month. The idea is, so that you not be distracted by 20,000 someone will give you at the primary election. Delegate will come to you, they'll be asking for 5,000 naira, 1,000 naira. If someone gives them 20,000 naira, we'll sway them, we'll change their minds. There was a particular delegate when I went to his house. He said, "Doctor, please, don't come to my house again. Me, I'm only waiting for instruction. If they say we should vote for you, we'll vote for you. If they say we should not vote for you, we'll not vote for you." And I respected that. And I stopped going to him. Some will not tell you the truth. They will tell you they're still influential. So there should be that minimal requirement so that a little talking will not influence them to do the bad choices. And that's number 2. Perhaps you want to create a new political party that will change that, but I doubt if these 2 big prominent parties will want to do that at this moment. Let's not change about the politics and the leadership, because I want to talk about the voters at the end. My business partner, Martins, he told me he once visited his friend. He's a member of the newly elected, and he saw checks lined up on his table. He said, "Martins, I have to pay debt. A lot of people. I owe a lot of people because I had to borrow money to contest this election. It's really, really bad. We shouldn't." I was speaking with the late custom boss, Diko Inde. He said, "Doctor, if you are contesting for election, must you give delegates money? We are practicing one of the most expensive politics in the world. And you cannot get good leadership when you have that kind of expensive politics." I know Professor Jega will tell us that it's a minimal threshold beyond which political party and candidate must not spend. But we cannot strictly monitor that and hold leaders and politicians accountable. People spend a lot of money. And when they get into power, psychopaths will come around and surround them. You have money and you have the singers that will be going around to your ears telling you are doing well, you're doing well. And block other people who will tell you the truth. They will block other people to come to you.